I feel like
We did it
in a long time.
I know, right? Welcome back to the podcast, Pizza Podcast with Christian and Johnny. Today we have a special pizza. It's compliments to Cool Man 121. Cool with a K. Yes.
Cool Man.
Yes, for the idea. Thank you for commenting. If you have any other pizza ideas, please comment, and we'll see what we can do to knock this out. But
Cockroach pizza.
except for the cockroach pizza.
Did someone say that? Someone bring that
Did
up?
somebody say that? So typically, it's 2 all-beef patties with the special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. But we got to go big here. So we got 12 all-beef patties on this bad boy. This pizza, it's got to weigh like 15 pounds.
I only see 8 buns.
Maybe you can explain why buns come in packs of 8 and burgers come in packs of 12. It's just like hot dogs.
Like hot dogs, yeah.
I hate it. They force you to buy more buns.
So,
But we're not sponsored, so we can't afford.
you can
more
also
than
just
8.
use tortillas, and then it's like a sweet life hack.
You're
Just
not
use
putting tortillas on a Big Mac on Big Mac
I
pizza.
would.
No.
I would. Not tonight, but
We're
if I'm at home,
if there's tortillas on a pizza, it's a Mexican pizza. Period. Doesn't matter what the ingredients are.
I think did I tell you about my double dogs? When I make hot dogs, just make a full pack of 8 hot dogs and just
you
2
put
in
them
a
in
tortilla.
tortillas.
Yeah,
It sounds good,
it's great.
especially if you can get a couple of strips of bacon in there. That sounds pretty
Sure, that would be good.
Because bacon and hot dogs.
But it's less bread, so you can eat more dogs.
I mean, I like it.
Yeah,
It makes sense.
yeah.
But thank you, Cool Man 121, for the idea. This pizza is for you. Unfortunately, we're going to be the only ones having
Does that
it.
imply there's 120 cool men before him?
I don't know. You can ask them. Maybe you can comment. But this pizza is so beefy, no pun intended, that we can't even pizza wheel this thing. I'm going to have to go full on chef knife.
Okay.
But I'm excited because it smells really, really good.
Yeah, I'm ready to eat it.
Yeah. So while I try and dig into this pizza and cut this up for us, we're going to be continuing our discussion on Moses. We've already covered up to Moses and Aaron have already talked to Pharaoh. We've already gone through the plagues. And we're at the point now where God tells Moses and Aaron they have to do the Passover ritual because God's going to
Passover?
He's going to pass over. Gosh, this is so tough. And kill the firstborn of everything in Egypt, people and animals, from the greatest all the way down to the least. And whoever has prepared accordingly will be spared. So we'll get into that. I don't even know how to get that. This is going to be a messy night. I'm going to have special sauce and lettuce all over my Bible.
Why is it called special sauce?
Because they don't want to call it Thousand Island.
Why?
Because then it's not special. But spoiler alert, it's Thousand Island dressing. Sorry, McDonald's. Dang, man, I want to bite into this, but I can't talk while I do it. We're going to take a quick commercial break.
That's fine too.
Just for this.
Yeah, part of me was like, let's just eat it all and then talk.
I got to say, this is better than a Big Mac. It's Big Mac Plus. I'm proud of us. We did it. Thank you, Cool Man 121.
You did it. I contributed nothing. Except for I recommended
You got us
his recommendation.
You got us our big Red Bulls tonight. We went with the 20 ounces.
Mm-hmm.
So, dang, this is really, really good.
Burgers.
Maybe you can zoom in on me eating this one too. I don't know why you did that. But it's funny.
For this moment right here.
For this very moment. So, let's get into this. I'm not talking about just the Red Bull. Oh, that's so good. Chapter 12, the Lord tells Moses and Aaron, in the first month, tell the community of Israel on the 10th day, every man's going to take a lamb for his family, one for each household. If any household is too small for a whole lamb, they have to share one with their nearest neighbor. Does that mean like
what's the number?
Like if you don't have the appetite enough to eat a lamb, is it like a food challenge? Because I know none of the lamb has to go to waste. Like you can't let any go to waste. Mm-hmm. So if, let's say you have maybe a 3-person family. Let's say it's you, your wife, and you have an infant. You're not going to eat a whole lamb. Some people. I could. But speaking of you and your wife and an infant.
And a lamb.
And a lamb. This is your first podcast as a dad. So congratulations for that.
It's kind of like when I was like, is it my first as a dad? Because like it was Mother's Day.
I would hope so, bro.
Well, it was Mother's Day, and Anne Marie's like, "Hi, Mom," and I'm like, "If you want to be." I was like, I'm not gonna say no, but I don't know if I can say yes. I was like, I guess.
I mean, a life is a life.
Yeah.
So technically, yeah.
Is it? So if that's the truth, is this my first as a dad?
Okay, so it's your first podcast as a dad with a baby outside the womb.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Because while your wife was pregnant, you're still a dad. You still put in all the work. You did everything that you had to do. And here you are.
Way too easy for dads to put in the work.
No, it's grueling.
Way too easy.
It's grueling. Back-breaking work for 9 months.
No, I had it made. She had a good.
Yeah, she's pretty. Your wife's pretty good at being pregnant.
Yeah, she had a great pregnancy. I had it made.
Pregnancy and birth. Mm-hmm. No epidural. Mm-hmm. That's insane. Good for her. Good for you, Anne Marie. Good and proud of you.
It was wild.
And your baby is what, a week old?
Yeah. What's today? 12 days. 12 days old.
12 days old.
12 days old.
Man.
I said, bye, woman. I gotta go make a podcast.
That's dedication. Why don't you all take note? This man literally, well, not him, but his wife literally had a baby 12 days ago. And he's here, putting in the work. Again, still. Doing what you gotta do to keep the bills paid.
Again, this is not that much work either.
You're really downplaying all the work.
I picked a great life. This is easy.
I gotta take notes from you then, because it feels like work. It took me like a week to figure out how I'm gonna make this pizza.
It's a little bit of work going through the video after recording. I wish I could eat faster.
I know. Well, if we didn't have to talk, we could.
I'm not like the fastest eater either.
No, but
I wish I could.
But still. So yeah, I guess if you and your wife and an infant couldn't eat a whole lamb, you'd have to go over and share with your neighbor.
When do you decide that, though? Like, you have to decide that before you prep the lamb, because then the other family's also prepping their lamb. So, like, oh, we have too much. And, like, so do we.
I think you would have that conversation before you go get the lamb.
So they just know how much lamb they can eat, I guess? I don't know, I guess.
If you go to a restaurant, do you know how much you can eat?
Sometimes no. You never over order?
No.
I already knew the answer.
If anything, I under order.
It's like freaking wings. I can't ever get the right size. It's either too small or too much. It's like, oh, give me a 12 count.
12 is too small.
I want like a couple more. It's like, okay,
20 minimum to start. 20 at least. Do you know how easy it is to eat 20 wings?
It depends what kind of wings.
My daughter can eat a dozen. She's 5.
I'm saying wings. I really just mean like boneless chicken.
I'm at least a 9 on this.
That's really.
No, I know. I was referring back to our last. Was it our last one or the one before? When you caught me on a technicality.
I'm not over a 9.
So yeah, if your family couldn't eat a whole lamb, you had to go and share with your neighbor in accordance with what each person will eat. Did you have to eat until you were full? Or you just had to eat? Like, what if one bite sufficient?
Technicalities, I don't know. It's a good...
I don't know, but I don't know if I would want to try and...
Test it?
Test God on a technicality. Well, technically, God, you said... Angel of Death's like, well, technically, you're dead. It says the animals you choose must be year-old males without defect. You know, males were the ones to eat.
Yeah.
Who knows? You may take them from the sheep or the goats. You could do a sheep or a goat if you wanted options.
Probably the same thing.
A sheep and a goat are not the same thing.
To eat. The meat's probably the same.
No. Have you had lamb and goat?
They're not the same?
No.
I've had a lamb burger.
Yeah. I mean...
They gotta be the same.
They're not the same. You can definitely taste the difference, but they're...
You're telling me you can taste the difference between a lamb and a goat. But then if I gave you a sliver of a frog leg and said, what's it taste like? It's chicken. And you're telling me lamb and goat don't taste different?
Lamb and goat do taste different.
That's crazy.
But most of the time I have goat, it's usually covered in like a tikka masala sauce or...
I don't know what that is.
It's like Indian food. When I have goat, it's typically in Indian food. Because it's not common unless you go to like a restaurant or somewhere else. But Indian food is so good.
Yeah, I think I have lamb at like a Greek place.
But lamb, yeah, you go to a Greek place, you get the lamb, and it's really, really good. Especially shawarma style, where it's just like thin shaved. Man, I'm making myself hungry, and like while I'm eating. So,
meanwhile, I'm over here. I'm just like...
I know, you're
I'm
two pieces in. I haven't even...
I'm straight up American. I don't know what you're talking about. Shawarma style.
You know what shawarma is? Mm-mm. You know the meat on a stick like that rotates and it's just dripping with juice and flavor, and they take the knife and they shave it? That's shawarma.
Okay.
Come on, man.
Uncultured.
You really are uncultured. But that's what I'm here for, Johnny.
We're going to do a lamb pizza.
We should do...
Half lamb, half goat.
We should do a lamb goat challenge where like I blindfold you and you have to tell the difference.
Okay.
You're just going to be like, it's chicken. So here's the interesting thing. So after you choose the animals, you got to take care of them until the 14th day. So you got to care for them for 4 days. You bring them in your house on day 10. You care for them until the 14th day, and then at midnight, you kill them and eat them. Is that
Gotta stay
odd?
up till midnight. It's extremely odd. Yeah.
Like, you have to make it your pet. Like, do you give it a name, or is it like intentionally, I'm not naming this because I don't want to become attached?
If it's food, I'll name it.
And what if you have something in your house and the lamb trips over it and now it's got like a bruise?
Defect.
Yeah. Like, how do you take care of if you have like a live wild animal in your house for 4 days and you got to keep it without blemish? I feel like that would be hard.
I feel like it wouldn't be that hard.
Well, they didn't have stairs in their house.
You have a
Did
kid.
they
You
have-
have a
they
kid.
did. They had-
You have a kid flipping on a bar in your living room.
Yes, and do you know how many times she gets hurt all the time? She is not without blemish.
Oh, I was gonna say she's fine. I didn't know.
No.
Well,
She flips off and hits the sidebar all the time and kicks her brother.
once
I'm
again,
like,
she kicks her
like
brother.
you gotta pay
She's-
attention to who's around you when you're swinging on the bar.
Yeah,
And, you know, Nolan just walks right in front. Poof. Ah.
it's funny.
I'm like, all right, time out from the bar. I feel like it would just be hard to keep a lamb
Unblemished.
in your house for 4 days without a blemish.
I don't think it'd be that hard. I don't think it would do a lot. I think
Yeah,
you just
but-
stand around.
But
and,
okay, even if you can keep it from hurting itself, you're gonna grow attached to it. Do you think you can keep an animal in your house without growing attached to it?
if I know it's food, my
If you know it's
was it parent-in-laws? They have chickens. We named the chickens. I got to name one of them. It was the biggest one, so I named it Mother Clucker.
I like it.
Yeah, it's the best name. They liked it too. That's why it stuck. They all ended up dying from like a fox or raccoon or something, sadly. But I was fully prepared to eat them if I had to. Like
Raccoons
was
eat
it
chickens?
I think they just killed them. Maybe they. I don't think they ate them.
I didn't think raccoons ate chickens.
So maybe,
I know fox do.
Yeah, they might not eat them. Well, they just had fun and killed them, and sadly. But yeah, I would have ate them in a heartbeat. They're food.
Yeah. You got to get that mindset though.
Oh man, it's like
Yeah, but what if you have kids? Kids
there
don't
used
know.
to be a it was like a meme of a billboard. And yeah, it was a meme, I guess. Or just a picture of a billboard. And so it's trying to get you to not want to eat animals. It's got a picture of all these animals on a line. It starts out with like you got a rabbit, you got a cow, you got a horse, then you got a dog and a cat. And it's like, where do you draw the line? Well, I drew the line right between the horse and dog. You're right about there. Pretty simple for me.
You would eat a horse?
I would. I'd probably eat a dog if I was in another country that served dog. I'd be like, well, it's already there. What's the difference? Why is there a line?
It doesn't surprise me though, because you want to eat a squirrel.
Yes, I do. Or rabbit.
You're still looking up YouTube instructions on how to eat a squirrel.
I'm not gonna like maliciously be like, oh, I gotta go do this, or like there could be a pasture of cows and like a horse. I'm not gonna go kill the horse and be like, I got cows to eat. I'll just eat the cows. But if I had to, 100%. What's the difference between a horse and a cow? You ride a horse?
You can ride a cow. It's just a lot slower.
Yeah. So why is that the difference of, oh, I'm not gonna eat that versus I'll eat this?
I don't think the ability to ride an animal is what the disparity
is.
But
that's what I'm saying. What is the line? Like, how do
it's got to be the type of meat or something, because horses are
deer.
What about it?
It's the same thing as a horse, basically.
People aren't riding around on deer.
But deer, I look at a deer and I'm like, oh, they're much more like
they're
innocent.
mean.
Like innocent. I'm like, oh, beautiful, majestic little deer. Oh.
Well, horse hunting isn't as fun.
I feel like it'd be a lot harder.
I feel like it'd be illegal.
Actually, I don't know. Well, yeah, I'm sure, yeah. But I don't know why.
Most of the horses you run into are going to be on someone else's property and owned by them. They're not going to be out in the wild.
Same as cows.
I don't know. It's just always been like a cultural rule. Is you don't mess with a horse. Horses are respectable.
Yeah. I just don't get it.
I don't know why. Yeah, I mean, you make a valid point.
Cows are honored in other areas.
Yeah.
We honor them just in a different way.
Where else can you get steak and milk from the same thing?
It's great.
It's beautiful.
Dude, why don't we drink goat's milk? Why don't we drink cow's milk over here? But, like, primarily. Like, other places, it's, like, primarily goat's milk, I'm pretty sure. Why don't we do that? Because isn't it healthier?
I don't know.
Why do we do things?
Because everyone's drinking almond milk.
Why do we do what we do?
They're drinking...
Eats a Big Mac.
Everyone's drinking milk from...
Not everyone's drinking.
I'm going to say almonds because I don't want to say nuts, but everyone's trying to...
But almond is a nut, right?
It is, but it's going to come out wrong. Out of context again.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, but cow's milk is delicious. Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan.
I am too.
I don't think you could have had that here. You got to take care of them until the 14th day, and then all the people have to slaughter them at, they say twilight, but it's midnight, same difference. Then take some of the blood, put it on the sides and tops of the door frames. I think the ESV says lentil. And I was like, lentil? Don't they make a soup out of that? Two different things.
Yeah.
Apparently it's the top of the door frame. It's the lentil.
I figured, but I was like, I'm not going to look it up.
It's top. It means top. Where you eat the lambs. That same night, you got to eat the meat roasted over the fire, which is what we did with the beef tonight, which sounds amazing. Mm-hmm. Imagine a whole nation having a barbecue at the same time. Mm-hmm. How good that smelled. You could probably smell it from like everywhere in the region.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking hundreds of thousands of people flame grilling lamb. That's going to smell amazing.
I think it ends up being like 600,000.
Yeah. That's just men.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, even if you get 5 men per lamb, that's 120,000 grills going at the same time. Oh, man.
But they can't, like, join each other because they have to stay in the house, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not like a
not really
national barbecue. It's just you can't leave the house.
Yeah.
But anybody outside the house, traveling or whatever, it must have smelled so good.
Right before they died.
Because I love going down like the street in the neighborhood and you smell somebody like grilling or barbecuing. Like I wish they made candles.
I love passing by sorry, McDonald's, but I like passing by Burger King. I like smell of Burger King. Anne Marie is always like, that just makes me sick. Ew. I'm like,
no, that
Burger
flame
King.
grilled, yeah.
She's like, ew. Ugh.
No, that's a top-notch smell there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll bet 120,000 grills going at the same time. Like, set your clocks. We're grilling at midnight. Like, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
If I could travel back in time, I would go back
To the Passover.
Actually, I don't want to get killed. Well, no, I'm not a firstborn. I'm all right. We're good.
Yeah.
It's a close one. Yeah, I'm going to go back. So, yeah, it says, eat the meat roasted over fire with bitter herbs. That's going to ruin it. And bread made without yeast. So they were really big on flatbread back then. Because none of the bread could have yeast.
Mm-hmm.
Which, flatbread is still good. I could have done a flatbread pizza.
Bitter herbs.
Bitter, yeah. I don't know what specifically bitter herbs entails. I remember having a Passover, like a formal Jewish Passover meal once when I was younger, and I remember it was awkward, like the food, and it tasted terrible. It really did. And I don't know if that's intentional. Like, it's not supposed to taste good. It was.
I guess so. Bitter herbs.
I think there was one part of it that I liked, and the rest, I couldn't even finish it. And my parents were like, "Don't worry about it. You don't have to finish
That's
it."
not a true Passover meal.
No,
you gotta
it wasn't.
finish it all.
No, my parents were just like, "Whatever, you're fine. You're on your own."
And you have to eat it fast.
Yeah.
Because I wrote a little note. It's like, here's how you must eat it, like Christian.
Yeah.
Was my
Yeah.
version.
Exactly. Eat it exactly like I did. Do not eat the meat raw or cooked in water. Ugh, boiled. What a waste of the land.
You boil hot dogs, though. Which
Not
I
usually.
think should be illegal.
Not usually. It takes too long. I'll throw them in the
It's
microwave, or I
disgusting.
just eat them raw.
Grill. You gotta grill it.
I don't always have
It should
time
be
for that.
illegal for any other. It doesn't take that long. It's just a hot dog.
I don't have time to go out, take the cover off the grill, heat it up.
Yeah.
I could throw it in the
What is
microwave
worth
for
it?
20 seconds and be done with it before I even get the cover off the grill.
That should be illegal.
So.
That's a war crime right there. Current events. That's war crime.
Roasted over the fire, head, legs, and inner parts. So that's where I'd probably have a struggle.
The inner parts.
The head.
The inner parts.
What do you eat from the head of a lamb? Like the brain? The eyes?
I would think the brain is the inner part still.
I don't know if I could do that part.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
The legs
You could if you
feel
had
like
to,
they'd
though.
be like full of tendons and not a whole lot. Like the thigh part of the leg, the upper part, like a turkey leg kind of deal. Now we're talking. Like imagine a lamb leg, it'd just be like this nice chunk.
That'd be good.
But inner parts,
You gotta eat the bad stuff first.
kidney, intestines, heart, gizzard. I don't know.
What is it? I thought a gizzard was like on
in a
chicken.
turkey.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does a lamb have a gizzard? What is a gizzard? What does it even do?
Isn't that the like
No,
neck thing?
No.
What is the neck thing called?
Goatee? I don't know.
Let me look it up.
I don't know.
How do you spell
But
gizzard? Like lizard with a G?
Gizzard, yeah.
Oh, it's part of a bird's stomach, actually.
It was part of the stomach, okay.
But it does say bird. Muscular part
Okay.
of a bird's
All right, well then
stomach.
lambs don't have gizzards.
Essentially a second stomach.
Interesting.
That's great.
Yeah.
Functions like teeth, particularly in birds lacking them.
A gizzard has
That's
teeth?
weird.
Oh, it's a
It
good thing
functions like teeth, which I don't know how you do that without teeth. That's crazy.
That makes no sense.
That's insane.
Okay, so lambs don't have a gizzard, but I'm sure they obviously have a stomach. They have stomach linings. They have intestines.
They have inner parts.
I mean, maybe roasted over fire. I don't know.
It's pretty gross.
Yeah.
That's for
But if it's
for
either-
the man of the house to just.
If it's
eat it.
either that or the angel of death is coming into your house, I'll eat
you
whatever.
gotta eat it. Yeah.
Because that is terrifying.
Yeah. That's when Dad just give me all the crap. I'll eat it.
Yeah. Dad
Just
takes
deal
one for
with
the
it.
team.
Yeah.
Or the mom or grandma is like, quit being a baby. Grandma's going.
Give me
like,
that gizzard.
Yeah.
It's a lamb, Grandma.
Yeah. Grandma's hardcore. She's eating the whole thing. She doesn't care.
Yeah. It's
So-
like, what are chitlins? And that innards.
Chitlins.
Isn't that like pig innards? Like intestines?
Chitlins? No.
I'm just going to be Googling.
We're not even going to get... What Moses podcast? I don't know. We talked about intestines the whole time.
Chitlins.
No, you're thinking of...
Chitlins, also known as chitterlings, are a food dish made from the small intestines of pigs. See, I'm cultured.
What's the one with the stomach lining? It's the stomach lining.
No idea.
I can't remember. But they make those pork rinds out of them.
That's stomach lining?
That's stomach lining. Fried stomach lining.
So minor funny comment about those. Me and Anne-Marie, she's like, you should try them. I was like, no, that they disgust me and I don't want to enjoy them because I know if I tried them, I would love them. It looks so good. Actually, they don't look good, but they do. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like a delicacy. They're like so into it. It's weird. Like people fast chitlins. I keep forgetting what they're called. When people, fast steaks and crap, some people fast chitlins. That's how into them they like.
Well, at least nothing's going to waste. Yeah, you got to eat the whole thing. Anything that you leave until morning. It says do not leave any of it until morning. If some is left till morning, you must burn it.
Oh, so you can leave some then.
Why would it say
don't leave
10,
any, but if you do
not leave any of it till morning.
If you do.
If some is left till morning, you must burn it. Well, which is it? Don't leave any until morning or burn it? Because if I have the option of eating like the guts of a lamb or burning it.
So this is probably specifically for the small family that can't find a neighbor. So they're like gorging themselves, eating as much as I can throughout the night. It's like 6 hours of straight eating, and then the sun comes up. Oh, thank goodness. But they have to try to eat it all. You can't just not try and eat it all.
You think
It's gotta be.
You think anyone overate like to the point where they were throwing up? Because if you eat and then you throw it up, then did you really eat it?
Put it back in, son. If you want to die, put it back in. Oh, gosh.
Right?
You ate it.
I
would say you ate it.
You
By
have
definition.
600,000 men plus women and children. This scenario happened.
By definition, you ate it, right?
But it wasn't in you
But you
when
didn't digest
Passover
it.
happened.
You just didn't digest it.
It wasn't in you when Passover happened.
Technically, God, I ate it. It's right there, but it was in here.
It's right there, but
You can see.
You saw
Yeah.
it. I had it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Technicality.
Yep.
I don't. Gosh, there's so many questions. So then here's your part. This is how you are to eat it.
Like Christian. That's what my Bible says.
It says, like Christian, with your cloak tucked into your belt, your Nikes on your feet. What?
Your Nikes?
Yeah, they had the Nikes back then. You got to be able to run. You got to eat it in haste. It says eat it in haste.
Yeah.
So, verbatim, this is how you are to eat it, with your cloak tucked into your belt, your sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand. Eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover. So is it like...
He's got to be ready.
It's a food challenge.
Like to
the death. Right? Like, how terrifying is that? I mean, not for me, because that's like, I got you, no problem. But for the slow eater, they're like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
But cloak tucked into your belt, sandals on your feet, with your staff in your hand. Now you only have one hand. Try and eat this pizza with one hand fast. You'd just be looking like an animal.
Yeah. That's so
Like
funny.
staff in your hand? Where are they going? They're not even allowed to leave their house. So why?
That's a good question. Is this literal? Like you have to literally have the staff in your hand, or is it just saying, hey, be ready? I know.
It says staff in your hand.
I know.
It's very military.
But then it goes into like the Lord's
hurry
Prayer.
up, but then don't go anywhere.
But then the Lord's Prayer is like, hey, pray like this. Are you supposed to only pray like that?
I don't know. It's an example of how to pray and what to pray for.
Yeah, that's what we're told. That's not
By
what...
Jesus.
No, Jesus says pray like this.
Yeah,
and then
then he gave you the example.
We're told it as an example, but if we're reading it literally, are we not supposed to just read the literal words like that and pray the literal words?
I mean, it makes it easy. No guesswork.
No, I mean, I think it's like an example too. I'm just saying, it's hard to decide sometimes. What's literal and what's not.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Eat it with your cloak tucked into your belt, your Nikes on, your staff in your hand, or your car keys.
In the pocket, ready to go.
Car keys, yeah, in your hand.
Because I got the little fob, so I don't need the keys in my hand. They just got to be somewhere, ready to go.
But they rode like camels and horses, right?
Yeah, so
It'd be cool if they had like a little fob for their horse.
Yeah, like in Assassin's Creed, you call your horse over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just. Yeah.
And then sometimes it picks you up, and then you're like, "Oh, sweet, that was a smooth transition." And then sometimes you're running, and you're like, "Where's my horse? Where's my horse?"
Sometimes it runs past you, and you're like,
and then you're just like, and you hear it trying to catch up, and you're like, "There's no way I'm running faster than a horse." Like, so then you got to stop and turn around, and then your horse is like right behind you, just not moving, and you're like,
"Bro, stupid horse."
Then you have to. Then I change my horse out.
And then you eat him. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll switch. I'm like, all right, you're done. This relationship isn't going to work. If you can't.
No, I keep my horse the whole time.
Do you?
Yeah.
I always switch back because I always pick the horse that I like that has the best color scheme.
Yeah. Always.
Depending on my outfit. Because like in Assassin's Creed Shadows, you can do like all sorts of different color outfits. And then I'll match the horse to the outfit.
Yeah, I pretty much stick with the horse.
But I hate when I'm running and like you whistle and then the horse just is like off in the woods.
Yeah.
Just doing whatever.
Yeah.
Like, hey, kind of in a hurry here. Kind of just ate this lamb. We got to get out of here.
We got to go. The destroyer's coming.
The destroyer. On that same night, I'll pass through Egypt, strike down every firstborn, both men and animals. So wait, the firstborn, it's only the firstborn son? Or is it the firstborn period?
I always thought it was son.
It just said both men and animals, but
Male animals?
Or is it the firstborn of every man and animal? And I will bring judgment on all the gods of Egypt. This isn't really the greatest podcast to have when you just had your first child. I'm sorry. We didn't plan that better.
The Lord's timing.
Yeah,
so
12, chapter 12, verse 12.
And when we went over the plagues, it does just say firstborn. In chapter 11, when they're going over, it just says firstborn.
So wait, what if let's say your dad was a firstborn of his dad, and then he had a son who was a firstborn. So,
and then the mom was a firstborn.
So like, is it just all of them are dead, or like where does?
And then you have a whole family of secondborns. They're like, we don't care.
We didn't like them anyway. They were always the favorite.
The middle child, like,
So was it like the whole genealogy of firstborns, like all the way up the?
Yeah.
Because if you, your dad, your mom, if you were all firstborns.
Right. Yeah. I think so. That's what it sounds like.
It is like.
Yeah. I always thought
that's,
and I guess I'll go back later on to verify that firstborn was
in here. Keep talking.
Firstborn male.
That's what I thought
right?
initially.
We could be wrong. Because it literally says, if we go back to 11, where he's saying the plagues, thus says the Lord, about midnight I will go out in the midst of Egypt, and every firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh who sits on his throne, even to the firstborn of the slave girl who is behind the handmill, and all the firstborn of the cattle. No gender is mentioned. And the firstborn of Pharaoh, firstborn of the lady servant, and firstborn of cattle.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Sorry, baby.
On that same night, I'll pass through Egypt, strike down every firstborn, both men and animals. See, there it calls out men.
Maybe men is like mankind.
It could be.
I don't know.
I don't have a footnote.
Yeah.
And I'll bring judgment on all the gods of Egypt. Gods with a lowercase g. I am the Lord. Then the blood will be a sign for you on the houses where you are, and when I see the blood, I will pass over you. No destructive plague will touch you when I strike Egypt. Then he says you're going to commemorate that day for generations to come, celebrating with a festival. For 7 days you're to eat bread made without yeast. So from the 14th of the month to the 21st of the month. So on the first day you commemorate, you have like a commemorative ceremony.
So this festival isn't like a fun festival. Doesn't sound like.
It's a flatbread festival. That's not bad.
Is it?
Pita. You can make pitas.
Okay.
So
So it can still be a
You
fun.
can make gyros.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to have more festivals.
You just can't have yeast. You're to eat bread made without yeast. On the first day, remove the yeast from your house. Whoever eats anything with yeast within those 7 days will be cut off from Israel. You think anyone did?
Probably.
You think so?
Probably.
So then it says, the first day hold a sacred assembly, and another one on the 7th. Do no work at all on these days except to prepare food for everyone to eat. That is all you may do. So on the first and last day, you prep food. Why would you prep food on the last day? I don't know. Doesn't make sense to prep food on the last day. It's kind of behind the...
Well, you prep it for the meals that you're going to eat on that day. But you can't do any other work. Except for the food.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, they didn't have Tupperware back then, huh?
Yeah.
Celebrate the Feast of Unleavened Bread. That's what that is. Because that's the day I brought your divisions out of Egypt. Celebrated as a lasting ordinance for the generations to come. And then it just repeats the same exact thing. It's almost like they copied and pasted.
On accident.
Yeah. And like literally, in the first month you're to eat bread made without yeast. It gives a little bit more of a detail I kind of already alluded to. From the evening of the 14th day until the evening of the 21st day. For 7 days, no yeast is to be found in your house. And then whoever eats it is cut off. Eat nothing made with yeast. Wherever you live, you must eat unleavened bread. So, flatbread festival. 7 days. Then Moses summoned all the elders of Israel, told them all, go and select the animals for your Passover. Take a bunch of hyssop, dip it into the blood, put it on the doorposts and the top of the door. None of you shall go out the door of the house until morning. When the Lord goes through the land to strike down the Egyptians, he'll see the blood on top and sides of the doorframe and pass over the door. He will not permit the destroyer to enter your house and strike you down. So,
Is that the Grim Reaper?
the angel of death, pretty much same thing, right?
I think it's a plague. And because
It mentions plague.
I mean, it's
but
the 10th plague. So, I guess it is a plague. But yeah, it mentions a plague somewhere else. I forgot where.
yeah. No destructive plague will touch you when I strike Egypt.
I think the plague is a destroyer. I don't think it's the angel of death. I don't know.
The destroyer is the angel of death.
Is it?
Yeah.
Does it say that later?
I don't know.
I don't either.
I've always... it's what I've always, like...
Yeah, that's what I thought
known.
too.
Yeah.
But then reading this, I'm like, ooh, destroyer sounds cool. So I just wanted to be like, it's a Grim Reaper because it sounds cool. But then I'm like, it's probably just a plague that it mentioned.
It is a plague, but the plague is... You know, like the plague of frogs.
Yeah.
God sent frogs. Well, this plague...
What does plague
God's-
mean? What is the definition of plague?
Something that happens
Just
to everyone.
deathly? Oh.
I would say something catastrophic that happens to everybody. And is indiscriminate. What's plague mean?
Well, it's just given the bacterial disease definition first. Unusually large number of insects or animals infesting a place. A thing causing trouble or irritation.
What if it just said, please refer to Exodus chapter 11. So it has no formal
Plaga.
definition?
The Latin word plaga means stroke or wound.
Stroke or wound?
Merriam-Webster, a disastrous evil or affliction.
There you go.
Calamity.
The Bible likes to use the word calamity.
Calamity. Pretty cool.
That'd be a cool name for, I'd say person, but it'd be a
Yeah.
pet.
Yeah.
Calamity. What kind of pet would you have that would be suitable for the name Calamity?
I think any pet.
No, there's got to be like a certain animal.
No, gerbil, it fits. It's hilarious.
Gerbil.
It fits. Yeah. Cat obviously works. Dog, it works.
Calamity the
'Cause it's-
cat?
Yeah. Pretty cool. I think it works for any pet. It's awesome. If
But
we ever have a
gerbil
dog,
was the first thing you thought of?
No, I was
Why?
running
Why
through
a
all of
gerbil?
them. I was running through all of them, and I'm like, yep. It works. It's all funny because you have like a sweet little kitten, and it's like, oh, Calamity. Like it's just so funny.
A fish? It would work good for a fish?
Yeah. It's the worst one, but yeah, it still works.
What?
Yeah,
It's not worse than a gerbil.
it is.
A gerbil named Calamity versus a fish?
Gerbil is definitely better.
No.
No, if me and Emery ever have a dog, I think we will, but we'll see. We already have a name for it, and that name is Flagpole.
Flagpole?
Yep. We're pretty set on that name.
Why?
Don't remember, but we're set on it. We were just
You don't
running
remember?
through. Not exactly. We were just running through names, and then Flagpole just stuck. And
Where would you run through that name? Other than driving down the street and you're like, you know what, we're going to name it after the first thing we see when we look out the window. Ready, go. Oh, look, Flagpole.
There's an origin somewhere, but I don't remember it. But I remember it's Flagpole.
I mean, it's not a terrible name, but it's
I think it's cool. It might be something
different.
It might be something because like was it Fallout?
It seems very arbitrary.
You have like a dog with a weird name. Oh, no, his name's Dog Meat. So it's
Dog Meat, yeah.
So it's still like
Still dog related.
yeah. I don't know where it came from. But
Well,
if you
maybe
asked her without me being around,
If you get a male
That's what I'm
dog,
saying.
you can name him Flagpole, and then you get a female dog and name it Calamity.
it's still gonna be Flagpole.
Well, you
But
can't
I
name
like
both
Calamity.
dogs. You get
Oh,
two
two dogs?
Yeah.
That's too many.
I know, but Calamity's a cool name. You got to incorporate it somewhere.
I guess I'll get a gerbil.
What's your daughter's middle name?
Jay.
Was that a letter or like the actual? Are you being secretive?
Jay.
Oh,
Yeah.
you could like throw Calamity in there.
In her name, Calamity J. Calamity J.
Calamity J. That sounds very southern. It's perfect.
J. Come here, Calamity J.
Calamity J. Anyway, gosh, I digress us quite a bit. Sorry. But you said, oh no, I said Calamity. I don't know. Whatever. We kind of both went down that road. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Lord's going to go through the land, strike down the Egyptians, see the blood on the doorposts. He won't go in the house and strike you down. Obey these instructions. And then the Lord's going to bring you into a land that he promised. Then when your children ask you, what does this ceremony mean to you? Tell them, it is the Passover sacrifice to the Lord, who passed over the houses of the Israelites in Egypt and spared our homes when he struck down the Egyptians. So if they didn't put the blood on the doorposts,
Dead.
just their firstborn would be dead, or the whole
I think it's
household?
the firstborn. Yeah, it's just the firstborn.
Because he's making it sound like you're going to put the blood on your doorposts, or I'm going to come in there and just wipe you all out. But I think it is
the firstborn.
I think it's the firstborn.
Yeah.
So they're just trying to protect their firstborn.
Yeah.
So the secondborn is just like, I don't care, whatever.
Eat your lamb. Do I really need?
They're looking at their older sibling like, oh man, you're in so much trouble tonight.
That's when the oldest sibling's like, "Fine, give me it. I can't let it go to waste." And he's gorged himself.
Yeah. But that's crazy. So the Israelites did just what the Lord commanded Moses and Aaron. At midnight, the Lord struck down all the firstborn in Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh, who sat on the throne, to the firstborn of the prisoner who was in the dungeon, and the firstborn of all the livestock as well. Pharaoh and all his officials and all the Egyptians got up during the night. There was loud wailing in Egypt, for there was not a house without someone dead. Not a house.
I'm assuming that's the Egyptians' houses.
All the ones without the blood, I guess. I wonder if any Egyptians caught word and
I tried.
did it. Or did they have to be Israelite?
I know if they had slaves that were in their house, they just had to be circumcised.
Yep. Were the Egyptians not circumcised? Probably not.
So they're probably not most of them, but I did read that some of them did do circumcision stuff. Because I was always curious, I'm like, dude, circumcision had to be an idea from God, because why would a man come up with that idea?
He wouldn't. He wouldn't. Wouldn't happen. Definitely.
But, yeah, what I read was that I think it was when we were going through Abraham, when we were going through circumcision. It mentioned that there were certain circumcision practices in Egypt also. So I'm not 100% sure.
The pizza wheel.
Yeah.
I remember that conversation. That was a good one.
Yeah.
You don't think any Egyptians got in on this?
No, because it says there wasn't a house without someone dead. I think that's the Egyptians' houses. So no, I don't think so.
What about homeless people? There had to be homeless people back then, right?
Technicality.
I'm always finding those technicalities.
Yeah.
There had to...
I guess, yeah.
Because somewhere in the Bible, I don't remember specifically, but it says there's always going to be homeless, there's always going to be poor.
That's New Testament.
Still in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Always means always.
Yeah, it's like 2,000
So
years after this, but yeah.
Still.
Like
There were
always,
definitely homeless people.
I get, probably.
What about them? If you didn't have a home, you just put the blood on your arms and your forehead. You're like, I'm a door.
Maybe they still had some kind of shelter. Like a tent.
Bro, I'd be like,
door.
what do you do?
I don't know.
This is not a house, but if you don't have a house, problem solved.
I guess. Yeah.
That would be crazy. Why are you laughing? I mean, I don't know. It would be crazy if you were a homeless person back then and you're just sitting out there chilling.
Just seeing this destroyer go through.
Just
place.
watching, and you just see. You're just watching this angel of death destroyer go into all these houses like Santa Claus.
Smelling lamb all over the place.
Yeah, like through the smoke.
Yeah.
Just the grilled, beautiful, fire roasted lamb smoke.
Yeah.
And you just see like going into the chimney.
How fast is it going? To
It
finish
took all night.
So it's probably all at one time.
It's like Christmas.
It's not-
all one night.
Yeah.
So he's about the same speed as Santa.
So it's probably
Maybe a little faster.
So it's probably, yeah, it just happens. Like everywhere at the same time, exact time. I don't think it's like a passing, like, oh, here and then here and then here.
No.
Yeah.
He went house to house.
No. I think it's boom.
No. It's the destroyer passing over each door.
So you can go pass over this, but get these and pass it like at one time.
Well, then there would be destroyers, plural.
No, it's one.
It's one destroyer going house to house.
I don't think so. And that, like, it goes to every house probably at the same time.
It can't.
Why not?
It's one entity.
God.
I really want to argue, but I can't.
It has to be just one.
No,
It's
dude,
one
I'm
swoop.
really...
It's one like I'm here and I'm gone. I'm here.
Or you're saying all the firstborns at the same time, just like that?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it was like house to house to house to house.
And it's just like incredibly fast.
Going every door. Every door, okay, there's blood, next house. Okay, there's blood, next house. Oh.
You know how long that would take?
Who cares? They have eternity. Or that night. They have one night.
I'm so confused. There's
The angel of death has
600,000
eternity.
There's 600,000 of them that are recorded.
That's Israelites.
Yes. You have to go through the Israelites' houses on top of the Egyptians' houses.
Well, the blood was pretty easily seen. You can see.
So it was all separate, but it was so fast. To the naked eye, it probably looked all at once.
Everyone was sleeping. We're talking midnight here.
It doesn't matter if they're asleep or awake. You still have to go to all these places if it's one by one.
Yeah. So if Santa can do it. What?
Not a fan of Santa.
You're not a fan of Santa?
I'll keep it down so no one doesn't hear.
What
The
if
funniest
Santa-
thing was I was in high school and I was hanging out with this girl at a Christian bookstore. right before we went to the Christian bookstore, we were actually talking about Santa, and we're like, oh, he's got the same letters as Satan. Like, oh, he's a lie. He's bad. And we go to the Christian bookstore, and then we see a Hispanic Bible or Spanish Bible, whatever, and it's Santa Bible. And we're like, oh no, oh. Like, maybe it's not bad. Oh no.
What if Santa was the destroyer? But then, but now he's bringing gifts.
But he's not, because he's not real. Sorry, what?
Don't ruin it for everybody out there.
All the kid viewers. Sorry, kids.
Yeah. Kids, cover your ears.
Yeah. But listen, when we talk about Genesis 19 and 38, you can listen to that, but we talk about Santa. No.
Yeah.
Tune away.
Yeah. We'll let your parents tell you about Santa. And how real he may or may not be. It's hard to come back on track after we go with that. Like,
The Destroyer.
the destroyer, yeah.
The Destroyer.
But I think if there were homeless people out there...
It's an end of a destroyer
I
going
think-
house to house.
It's a disc. A halo. That's where they got the halo from.
Yeah.
The Halo Destroyer.
Oh my goodness.
I'm picturing just like...
Okay.
Because
I just don't know how fast I would have to be.
pretty fast.
Yeah.
But how...
Which is possible.
I was
would
going to
say
say,
it's
like,
possible,
how does it
but-
know which one's the firstborn? Does it go by size? What if your younger brother was bigger than you?
Oh my goodness. I would just say it's directed by God, so it's
God, yeah.
it's all figured out.
So you can't even hide. Like, that stinks.
Yeah.
Hide and seek from God is not going to work.
No,
We talked
I don't
about
think
that
it ever
with
would.
I was like, yeah, but they were hiding. You're like, from God? During the night, so there wasn't a house without somebody dead. During the night, because, well, obviously you could only have one dead because there's only one firstborn.
Well, no, if the dad's a firstborn and the kid's a firstborn.
Oh, yeah. Golly.
And the mom's a firstborn. And if they're living with grandparents, in-laws,
That's tough.
could be someone dead, yeah, all over the place.
My dad was a firstborn,
Dead,
and my brother,
dead,
my sister.
dead. Wait, how's your sister and brother? Oh my god. What if they're twins? One of them comes out first. So whichever one comes out first?
No, they're from separate marriages.
Oh, how is that? Same dad or same mom?
Neither.
Same dad.
Neither. My sister and I have the same mom. My brother and I have the same dad.
So I would say, I would assume it would default to the firstborn of the father. So your sister,
I think firstborn is firstborn.
but if you're in a situation like you, if your sister was firstborn of her father and your brother's firstborn of his father, they're both firstborns, right?
So it doesn't matter
That's
about
what
the
I would.
mother?
That's what I would assume.
Well, if it's of the mother.
It could be the mother, but I would assume it's the father from the loins, back to the loins.
Because if that's the case, because you know kings had like a whole bunch of kids with different women.
Mm-hmm.
Like Solomon, for example.
A lot of firstborn.
Lot
if it's
of kids.
for the mom. Yeah.
So how does that apply? Like with that?
So that's where I think it's
Would that
firstborn
just
of the
be-
father.
So you'd only lose one instead of like
I think so.
hundreds.
I could be wrong. It could be the opposite. But I would assume it.
Yeah, firstborn of who?
Yeah.
It says men and animals. So I mean, I think you have a point.
Yeah.
So then during the night, Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron and said, you guys got to go. Oh, wow, you're already ready. Okay, you have your staff and your Nikes and your cloaks tucked into your belt.
Yeah. And
Weird.
And you already ate so fast?
It's weird that you guys already ate and you're ready to go and I haven't even told you could leave yet.
Yeah.
Take your flocks and herds and go. And also,
Bless me.
Bless me.
The audacity, bro.
right?
Like, just get out. Like, why would he ask for anything?
Why would they want to bless him?
Yeah.
Why would he ask for it? Like,
Yeah, just get out.
Would he really think they're gonna? Do you think they did?
No.
The Bible doesn't say.
Yeah, it doesn't say. I don't think so.
And also, bless me. Did he sneeze? Maybe he's like, all right,
Get
take
out.
your flocks and go.
And get out of here and bless me. Like that.
I think that's how it had to go because there's no other logical explanation for that sentence.
Yeah.
The Egyptians urged the people to hurry and leave the country. So now the Egyptians are like,
Go.
Get out.
Get out.
so the people took. So here's a cool thing I never caught before when I was reading this.
The plundering?
No,
Something
before
else.
that.
Before the plundering?
So, chapter 12, verse 34. So the people took their dough before the yeast was added and carried it on their shoulders in kneading troughs wrapped in clothing. So all of their dough, like I'm imagining pizza dough, although with no yeast. They're carrying it in troughs on their shoulders. So I mean, you got like a huge. I'm thinking like a pig trough at a farm. They had that thing filled with dough, and they just covered it with clothing so that it's their biblical Tupperware.
ESV just says bowls.
What?
So
Verse 34?
the people took their dough before it was leavened, their kneading bowls being bound up in their cloaks on their shoulders.
Mine says kneading troughs wrapped in clothing. I like troughs better than bowls.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of dough. Imagine how many pizzas you can make.
There's gotta be bowls. Why would you have that much for? Like,
Why would you carry a bowl on your shoulder? You could just carry a bowl in your
You gotta
hand.
carry your staff. You gotta carry your newborn.
Trough, man. Big
That's way
canoe
too heavy.
size.
That's way too much.
Lots of dough.
That's not. No. They have so much travel to do. There's no way.
They gotta eat.
It's bowls. It's bowls.
I don't know. You gotta eat.
It's bowls.
Well, not in mine. My Bible says troughs, and I like troughs. The Israelites did as Moses instructed and asked the Egyptians for articles of silver and gold and for clothing. And they gave it all to them.
Yeah.
So the Egyptians gave them all their gold and silver and clothes, and basically they plundered them. And then left.
Yep.
The Israelites journeyed from Ramses to Succoth. It's a weird name. There were about six.
Is that King James for? Hold up. What are I doing?
Is yours say?
Sucks. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like adding the.
Israelites journeyed to Ramses, which sucketh.
Man, this journey sucketh.
This journey sucketh. There were about 600,000 men on foot, besides women and children. Many other people went up with them, large droves of livestock, flocks, herds. With the dough they had brought from Egypt, they baked cakes of unleavened bread. The dough was without yeast because they had been driven out of Egypt. They did not have time to prepare food for themselves. So the length of time the Israelite people lived in Egypt was 430 years.
So I want to take a short pause there. 430 years. So, are you familiar with like the 400 years of silence? It's just a reference we talk about between Malachi and Matthew. And we're like, oh, we don't hear anything between this time. They call
Oh, okay, I'm with you.
So, I'm always curious, like, what's going on outside of what we're reading, like when we talk about Melchizedek and all this other stuff. So I'm like, if they're in Egypt if it's relative close to 400 years between Joseph and Moses, it's like kind of another 400 years of silence almost. Like, so I'm like, why do we call the 400 years of silence that when there's other periods of gaps?
Stuff
When there's
going on?
other gaps, yeah.
Biblical silence. It's just not written.
But there's another between Joseph and Moses. There's another gap.
There's a lot of gaps. I mean, you can't write
Yeah.
everything that happened everywhere
Yeah.
for the whole duration of time.
Yeah.
The Bible would be a lot thicker.
Yeah. We learned that from, was it Jesus mentioning about, or it's mentioned about
Even if
Jesus.
you wrote the
Yeah.
miracles Jesus did, there wouldn't be enough books.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be enough space on earth to
Yeah.
fit all the books.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. Is that because Jesus is also in the Old Testament?
Jesus is everywhere.
Whoa.
Done a lot of stuff. I could write a book just on stuff he's done for me.
You should do that. I highly recommend it. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah.
What's stopping you?
Time.
You're in your truck.
I'm so busy.
You can write with your voice now.
You mean to dictate?
Yeah. Pretty cool.
I can write with my voice. No, because talk to text is so terrible. It never listens. I always have to go back and
It's better than nothing.
re-edit everything. And sometimes if you're talking, if you're trying to take a note,
I could be your editor.
yeah, but you won't know what I'm trying to say because the words will be so
Well,
far
I'll
off
ask
from
you.
what I was trying to.
So that's what I would ask you.
But then I won't remember. By the time I actually finish, like if I wanted to say a paragraph of
You
a
would
thought,
remember.
like
You
if
would
I have an
remember.
invention about something.
If it's about you, you would remember.
No, I don't. I'll say something and I'm like, okay, da, 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 da. And then I go back and reread it and I'm like, what the heck? What was I trying to say there? I don't remember, just delete it.
But if it's your story about what God's done for you, you'd be able to piece it together, at least close enough.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be like, because the first time
It's always better.
it is.
It's
Because
insane.
everything is just
Yeah.
there. You're in the zone.
Especially
when
creative art stuff, you do it
Yeah.
and like out of nothing. And then like whatever happens, you mess up, you're like, oh, I need to recreate that. You're like, oh, I know how to do that. It should be easy. It's never the same.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, write that
Maybe
book.
one day.
That'd be cool. Your kids would like it too. Some stuff you gotta like leave
Yeah,
out.
I don't know if I can.
Wait till you're 18.
I don't know if I want people
I
reading.
know. I mentioned I started. I haven't added since I mentioned I was writing a little thing. I only have like 2 paragraphs, but I'm like specifically. I'm like, let me just make that very vague.
Yeah. If you wanted to be like 100% real with it,
Yeah.
it's tough to do because life's crazy.
Yeah.
See, the Egyptians got all the stuff from the Israelites got all the gold, silver, clothes from the Egyptians. Journeyed 600,000 men, not including women and children. They got the livestock. They were 430 years in Egypt to the very day. And then it says, because the Lord kept vigil that night to bring them out of Egypt. On this night, all the Israelites are to keep vigil to honor the Lord for the generations to come. Why did the Lord have to keep vigil that night? To bring him, like, what was going to stop
Is that like
him?
a vigil candle
Vigil is like Overwatch.
Just
Like
alert?
you're just overseeing, like.
and like alert?
Now, the length of time the Israelite people lived in Egypt was 430 years. At the end of 430 years, to the very day, all the Lord's divisions left Egypt. Because the Lord kept vigil that night to bring them out of Egypt, on this night all the Israelites are to keep vigil to honor the Lord for the generations to come. Maybe I'm misunderstanding
making
what
their-
vigil means.
Making their travel safe.
Yeah, vigil I
this
thought was like guarding, like you keep vigil.
Yeah, ESV just says it was a night of watching by the Lord.
Yeah, okay. So then it goes into, that's the Exodus part. Now it goes into the Passover restrictions, basically the regulations you had mentioned. So just to sum it up, no foreigner is to eat it. Any slave you bought may eat it after they're circumcised. A temporary resident or hired worker cannot eat it. It has to be eaten inside the house. Take none of the meat outside the house. Don't break any of the bones. The whole community of Israel must celebrate it. An alien living among you who wants to celebrate the Passover must have all the males in the household circumcised. Then they may take part like one born in the land. No uncircumcised male may eat it. The same law applies to the native born and the alien living among you. So you have to be circumcised. All the Israelites did just what the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron, and on that very day the Lord brought the Israelites out of Egypt by their divisions.
So I guess when you asked if people didn't do what they were supposed to do, and I was like, yeah, probably. I guess I was wrong. It says all the people of Israel did just as the Lord commanded.
That's a lot of people to
Yeah.
stick to it. Good for them. Shoot, imagine if we got a decree now. If you told 600,000 men, not including women and children, to do something and said, the Lord said to do this, we'll probably have like 100 left.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Different times.
Yeah.
Oh, so backslidden. Welcome to
So
Israel.
you're above a 9. You're still sticking with
Oh, well.
above a 9.
Yeah, the Big Mac pizza is actually really, really good.
I liked it a lot.
It's
I couldn't eat as
filling
much.
too. Yeah, like look, it looks like we didn't even touch it. But like when it was fresh out of the oven, nice and
good.
hot. Oh my gosh, I'll bet it's good cold. It's going to be my lunch tomorrow, too, so. I don't know. Cool Man 121, what do you think?
He didn't take a bite. We
Dude,
should have
he's
invited
had it
him.
before.
We should have had him as a guest. He's had a Big Mac pizza before? I don't think he said he had it.
I don't know. I assume maybe. I don't know. If you're going to make the recommendation, it could just be a cool idea.
Probably. That's what I thought.
But no,
Should've
this
had him as
pizza
a
was
guest.
good. That was a great idea. Should have had him as a guest.
Yeah.
He probably lives in like Alaska.
We
Cool, man.
could fly him in. We could pay for his flight.
We have like 6 followers, 0 money, no sponsors. Like, this is just us, man.
Yeah, man.
No, it was good.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to rate this one. Gosh, it is a really good pizza.
What was the last pizza we had that I put a 9 at?
Was it the mushroom Swiss?
Yeah.
This is definitely better than that. I would put this one at a 9.4.
I really liked the mushroom Swiss, though. So this one is going to be a
Don't you dare.
8-8.
Don't even. You're joking.
No, I like the Swiss. The mushroom Swiss.
Better than this?
This was good.
An 8.8.
And
You
it
just
even
tanked
had
my
it
rating.
even had meat.
You were just like my disc golf game. You tanked my rating.
Yeah. What else was on there? Was it just mushroom Swiss?
So now we're like a 9.1.
No. It'd be
I said 9.4. You said 8.8.
Yeah, so 9.2. Right? No. 9. Wait.
It's like a 9.1. Basically, you ruined
9.1.
everything. So we're at a 9.1 then.
Okay. And if you're going to ask how to make it better, I would say...
Don't even say more toppings because it already
Nope.
weighed 15
No,
pounds.
I'm not. I'm going to say put the burgers on the mushroom Swiss.
So to make this pizza better, make a different pizza. I don't know whether I should be insulted.
It's great. It's still great. 8-8 is still great. 8-8 is great. You can make a chant out of it.
It's a 9.1.
It's still very
It's a good pizza. I
Yeah,
like it.
very good.
I wish you would have told me we were going to end it before I opened my Red Bull. I could have brought this to work tomorrow for lunch.
Put it in a little sippy cup and seal it up. Put it in the refrigerator.
It's an 8.4. It's a 28.4 ounces of Red Bull.
Yeah.
It's a nice start.
Yeah.
Right before bed. It's strange. Like,
Doesn't matter.
I can go right to sleep.
Yeah.
It doesn't...
Yeah.
It just tastes so good.
Mm-hmm.
It did such a good job.
Guess I'll get home to my crying wife and crying child. My crying wife and child. Wait, which one's crying?
Do you...
Yeah.
If your baby's crying in the middle of the night, does your wife wake you up?
We've been
Or are you just naturally awake by the crying?
no, so we've been kind of like doing like a shift deal for the most part.
Yeah. One of you can be refreshed, or both of you can be tired.
Yeah. And then I think it was last night. So the way her couch is, one side is a little bit longer, so she can lay down on the short side, but that's usually where I sit, and she sits on the long side. So then she slept on the long side. So I was like,
So now she's got extra room and your legs are hanging off.
yeah. So I'm like, if I wanted to, I was like, okay, I'm on duty, but she's in the living room, so I'm like, I'm not gonna wake her up and tell her, hey, go to
Move.
bed. Like, she should just go to bed and sleep. That's fine. She wants to be around. That's great. Helped her sleep somehow.
Right.
That's fine. But then I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna try to take a little nap while I'm still like on duty. So I just slept on the floor.
You're a grown man, and there's a bed in the other room.
And then by the time we woke up, she's like, oh, do you want me to get her? I'm like, yeah, I can't quite get up right now. I'm like, yeah, I can't move. Yeah.
Dude, I used to sleep in the guest room on the other side of the house
Yeah.
so that I could get
You gotta sleep.
a full night
Yeah.
because it is tough. People don't even know.
Dude, and
before
then
they have
there's some
kids.
and there's some people that go to work like immediately after. I'm like, that is insane. I don't get it.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. But I'm like, I don't know how you do it.
And then you'll be wondering, why do people have more than one?
Crazy.
When we had our first, we're like, why would anybody have more than one kid? this is a nightmare.
And then
We're
you
not sleeping.
Now you have 2.
We're exhausted. And then Nova hit like 2 years old, and she actually became like a little human with a personality.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like really cool.
And they can verbalize what's wrong.
Yeah, but then it
No,
was
I'm
always
hungry.
like, play with me, play with me, play with me. We're like, oh, you need a friend. All right, we got to have another kid. I love playing with the kids, but
Yeah.
it's like, I get home from work, I'm already tired.
Yeah.
And then it's just nonstop.
But Candyland is the worst game in the world.
Candyland's pretty boring.
It's crap.
And I always lose. I get right to the end, and then I get the peanut card, and I have to go all the way back to the beginning.
Why is it every kid cheats in Candyland? And Candyland is also, there's no strategy. So the only thing you can do is cheat. Like, you just get luck, you just pull a card. You can't do anything about it.
How are kids cheating?
They're like, oh, yellow, and they skip a whole freaking like section.
Yeah, Candyland is tough.
It's the worst. It's so boring. Hopefully by the time she's 2, we're not playing Candyland, but like Clue or Battleship.
At 2?
Yeah. Those are at least a little more entertaining.
At 2?
Oh, Dad, you sunk
At
my
2,
battle.
you're not...
You sunk my battle tip. Yeah, baby, you put them all together like you always do.
In the corner.
You drew a smiley face again. Out of boats. There's like certain words that like a lot of parents are like, oh, that's a bad word. Like kids can't say like freak or frick or suck or crap. My kid's going to be saying all of them in the same sentence.
There are certain words we don't let Nova say.
Yeah.
Like the other day, she said, suck. We were playing basketball and she missed. And she goes, that sucked. And I was like, baby, that's a grown-up word. I was like, you can say stinks. You could say fail. You could say darn. I was like, that one, save until you're a little older. And she's like, why? I'm like, it's just one of those words. You got to be older. There's certain ones. She hasn't said any like really stunning words, which is great.
Like what?
Like any curse words or anything like that.
Like what?
But I mean, she's not going to catch any of that stuff in our house. But
Yeah.
out in daycare, I don't know what the other kids know or what they say or what the daycare workers do or say. I mean, we're hoping that they're keeping it clean. What is that thing?
Nah. One of the plagues.
One of the plagues jumped out of the Bible. It's like Jumanji.
You didn't put the blood on the door? Quick.
Just throw a...
The destroyer's next door. Go.
Yeah, that would be...
You missed it in the nick of time.
That would be crazy. Because they could look out the window. They just couldn't leave the house.
I think it all happened like same time. Like in an instant.
I don't know. So, the Big Mac pizza was a good hit. 9.1.
It was fun, too. It was fun because it was different.
Yeah. I was going to do a Passover pizza.
That would suck.
It'd be terrible. So I wasn't even going to... I'm not putting bitter herbs.
Get a rate. This is a 2.1.
Yeah, I'm not... Like, fire roasted lamb? Absolutely.
What is a bitter herb?
Anything bitter just sounds terrible. But the Big Mac pizza was a smash. I don't know, you have anything else?
No. Next up, whatever comes next.
Like chapter 13? Well, thanks for tuning in. Podcast over. I just opened my Red Bull.
You can still take it.
I thought we were a week further than that. Man, June is a long month.
30 days. I hate to break it to you, Christian. July is even longer. So we eat the horseradish, but not the horse. What's up with that?